This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Well, we're going to start doing something called morning inspiration. And this one is just about not settling for what you've been given in life. Now, Jay-Z often talks about, especially on Can I Live? He says, what's the point of living average, okay? What's the point of living with the cards you were dealt? Why not want more? Why not want more? You know, why just settle? Don't settle, because you have we're going to spin this off into something else. And, you know, I also want to relate something that 50 Cent recently he was asked on an interview, what's the biggest check you got? And, you know, he talked about a couple checks, but he said, you know, I made 80 million with Reebok, right, over time. And then, you know, the guy that asked him the question, Big Boy, I think he was like, I would have quit after 80 million. Now, he's lying because he makes like 100 million with his radio deals, okay? But he said, yeah, sounds like a lot until you're in the rooms with other people that have more than you. And then your goals change. Your goals change. But first, let's listen to this by Jay-Z, and then we'll get into everything. And just, you have to live for more.
Why does that guy think like that? Right? How do you arrive at that point? You got to look at the environments and places we live in. In our living conditions, you live in a project. Someone lives here, 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 and here. You know, you have to deal with all these different type of personalities. You're in the box. Someone's above you, below you, to the right of you, and to the left of you. And every day you have to manage that circle. And that's just 2 floors. These buildings have 26 floors, and there's a ton of them, right? These low-income houses, and everything is messed up there. So that's like living dormant. If this is what I have to live for, then I'm going to take a chance to get more.
Yeah, so you got to live to want more, to elevate in life. Because, like, especially if you're young, like, what do you got to lose, you know? This is the approach I took in life, you know, like I grew up in I didn't live in the projects or anything. I didn't, you know, like, and I lived like, you know, middle class, but we didn't have a lot. I didn't have like new shoes all the time. I didn't live in like upper middle class, like very meager middle class, right? And I just wanted more. I wanted to do different things. I didn't want to do the typical cookie cutter pattern. You know, I went to high school, I did okay. I did like a year of college, and the second year I dropped out because I didn't want to like just do the cookie cutter thing. I didn't want to go be an accountant or do something safe. I wanted to do something I liked, you know, and I really enjoyed film stuff, and I started doing it in college. I saved up my summer work and bought a camera, and, you know, I started working on it, and, you know, I slowly worked my way into buildings. And, you know, I took such risks to make it. I would straight up lie. I called up Rockefeller Records. I was like, yo, I work for like a subsidiary of MTV. I'd like to cover the behind the scenes of Cameron. Oh boy. Think about it. I think this is like high school going into college, right? And I said, yo, I'd like to cover the behind the scenes of Oh Boy. They gave me a press pass. I went there. I was in, and then I started selling the footage to this company that was doing like a local hip hop show in different cities, and I would get paid for it. I would license it out, and that's how I got my start. Then when I got it, how did I get into music videos? I lied to artists. I started interviewing artists, selling it to that show, and I tell them, yo, do you want to do like an independent music video? I'd say at this point I had made enough money doing those, selling that footage, that I bought a bigger camera, a Canon XL2 or something like that. They look big, and they were like, yeah, I could do the video. I didn't even know how to edit a video. Took me 2 weeks to edit my first music video every day, 10 hours a day, and I did it. It was nonfiction. Rock stars. That was my first video. My second video was Core Mega. And then I was in the game, you know, just kind of like added on. Then I did Mobb Deep, and it kind of added on. But, you know, 50 Cent, I mean, first with Jay-Z, you know, it's like if you're living in a project or you're living in a situation you don't want to be in, you got nothing to do but risk it all to get to another level. Or, you could live, like he says, dormant, and you could just be inactive. Just go along with life, But why not? Why just live average when you could live a little bit better than your average, And honestly, to 50 Cent's point, when he was talking about people around him, like his situation changed. He was making tens of millions of dollars, right? So he was around a different group of people at that point. You get different access, right? People want to be around you now. You're a hip hop superstar, right? So you're around people now. These people were making $50 million a year, $100 million a year consistently doing TV, movies, And now that $80 million you made with Reebok over 4 or 5 years seems cute. He said it seems cute then. You want to shoot for another level. You want to get to like 200 million, 300 million, 400 million. That's what he's doing, building all these shows and movies that he's working on. Liquor deals. Why do you think Jay-Z is getting into liquor and all this? First of all, with liquor, right? People buy, they're not just buying your CD once or your poster once or your t-shirt once and that's it. They're buying it over and over and over again. People want to get nice every weekend. They want to buy that bottle of champagne at every celebration. You might sell somebody a bottle of Ace 5 times a year. You can only sell them one CD, With the music service, even though it was far-fetched, right? That you're going to compete with Spotify and Apple, right? He did it anyways, and he made it work. Jay-Z's going to win by... I don't love everything he does, right? But he's going to make it by any means, man. He unloaded that music service. He might have not made a ton of money on it, right? It looks like he did on paper, but it takes a lot of money to keep. But think of the door that opened for him. He's hanging out with Jack Dorsey now, and he's sitting on the board of Square. So even if he only made a few $1 million, right, and he cashed everybody else out and got them their money back and made them some money, I forget the exact business of it. If you look back at the video, I can show you where the no. It wasn't that he didn't make money on it. It was the valuation was lower than what it was when Sprint put money into it. Jack Dorsey bought it at a discount. Because I still wonder why he bought it. Like, what's he gonna do with it that's gonna benefit Square? But he unloaded it from Jay-Z, right? And Sprint. Sprint was invested in it, right? Because remember, Jay-Z's first thing is he sold part of it to Sprint because he needed a lot of money to elevate it. He needed cash flow to get the business, to try to compete with Spotify. It's a hard battle, especially with Apple, who has unlimited amounts of money, too. When you're going against them and Spotify, with Public, and, they have tons of money to work with now. It's hard, You can't do all these, $100 million buyouts with, like, Spotify, with podcasters and everything, But Jay-Z's in a room that's totally different now. He's on a board of Square dealing with Jack Dorsey. That's crazy. He's truly done a lot of things that were unthinkable 20 years ago. Unthinkable, But it just keeps elevating the culture of hip-hop, man. So it's pretty crazy. So, yeah, why live average when you can live above average, And your average starts out where you're at. Your average, the bar keeps going up. After a few years of living one level, as 50 Cent says, yeah, $80 million was I never thought I would make that much money. But that became average at one point. Now I want to make $200 million. Anyways, always have goals and aspirations that are beyond your wildest dreams, because even if you don't reach them, even if you reach them 25, 50%, 75%, 100%, right? Any percentage you reach of that goal is better than where you started off, okay? And this applies for any part of your life, man. If you're unhappy in the job you're in now, say you're making $15 an hour, but you want to make $20 an hour, right? Aspire to do that. Go look for another job. Maybe you get a job that pays $17.50 an hour, right? But you're still doing better than the $15 an hour job, right? Just keep trying to elevate your life, working out, everything, relationships, and take risks, man. No just means try again. When someone told me that when I was in high school, someone said, no, when someone says no to me, it just means not right now. Try again later. And guess what? I kept trying until they said yes. I appreciate you guys. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. And I'll check you guys in the next one. Smash that like button. Peace.